Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive. Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive. Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive. You know, none of those sounded right. I think it's just my throat's a little sore. Hey, I bet if you say that in front of a mirror 3 times, I'll crash into your house. So don't do that. I mean, you don't want a WhyBeAre crashing through your house. That's just bad idea. Anyways, we're gonna go to grid map to look at a vehicle. It is called the D-15 live axle. And well, as you see, it's a little bit more than a live axle, isn't it? So let's do a quick overview of what this has, huh? First off, it has a front and back live axle suspension setup. I'll explain exactly what a live axle suspension setup is in a minute. But let's just finish this overview. It has a giant gaping hole in the hood, which allows you to have a blower right there. At least I believe that's the right term, but somebody's always like, no, that's this part, blah, 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 you're wrong. But it has a blower right there. And you got a person in the driver's seat. You got some barrels in the back. Then you got a trailer with the Hummer on it. A lot of things, right? But first off, I want to talk about what is a live axle setup, independent suspension setup versus an independent suspension setup. So I'm going to bring out the Bishu Corvette to use this for a demonstration. So for this car, if you look at the parts menu, you see that in the front and back, it has an independent suspension setup. See, front and back are both independent suspension setups. So to do a couple of demonstrations, let's bring the gravity up a bit. So in this car, when the gravity gets big, actually, let me remove some things so you can see things a little better. If I remove the exhaust plus the rear bumper, you should be able to see a bit more. So it'll be even easier to explain things. Okay, hopefully that works. Perfect. Alright, so with the independent rear suspension setup in this car, you see this wheel is leaning inwards. This wheel is also leaning inwards. They're both leaning inwards because the gravity's pulling down the car. And the independent suspension setup allows that to happen. If it didn't have an independent suspension setup, that would not happen. So you see right here, this is what it looks like. There's a piece right here, and then this part is able to do whatever angle it wants, and so is this part. They're not always going to be related to each other either. They just happen to be related because gravity is pushing down on both of those. So for example, if you drive over a bump, like up here, an independent suspension setup could have one tire be still perfectly perpendicular while the other one's leaning in. So you see this one's leaning in while this one's not quite perfectly vertical, but it's not leaning in nearly as much as the other tire. You can see it's still pretty pretty close to being perfectly vertical while this one's leaning in a bunch. And really, that is what an independent suspension setup allows. It allows the car to be able to have the front tires. I mean, not the front tire, excuse me. It allows the car to have the left tire and the right tire be at different angles. So next up, let's look at a car that doesn't have it. So we're going to bring out the D-15 live axle again. And we're going to remove all the stuff on it real quick. Well, actually, yeah, we're going to remove the stuff. So we're going to say, bye-bye trailer. Then we're going to say, bye-bye bed load. There we go. So now it's just a truck. And this truck has live axles in the front and the back. So what does a live axle do? Whenever you go over a bump, this right here is a solid bar. It doesn't have the ability to have the tires at a different angle. The tires will always basically be perpendicular to each other no matter what you're doing. So you can see here, both tires are leaning about the same amount. And well, you can do a more extreme test. If you go over the bumps, here we'll do it in slow-mo. We're going to go over the bumps in just 8 times slow-mo. So you watch. In this one, because the live axle is so tightly attached to things, when you go over a bump, that right tire also moves a bunch, and it actually almost lifts up. Maybe even does lift up for a second, because the live axle is keeping those tires parallel no matter what you do. So from this point of view, the live axle doesn't seem very good, does it? Well, live axles do have their advantages. Well, actually, let me show you one more thing that's kind of interesting. I think this one, because the live axle is like that, I don't think this car can do Jupiter gravity very well. And you see, with this one, you see the tires stay perfectly parallel to the ground because they don't have the ability to vary really. Ooh, I got another idea to show you off this thing. So if you turn real tight, you can see the tires lift up because they are trying to stay parallel. So you kind of lift up if you turn too tight. See, like that. And you see that whole time you could pause at any frame and look, those wheels are parallel. Unless the only way they might not look parallel is if the rubber is bending a lot, so it might look deceptive. But trust me, they will always be basically parallel. So, why would you want a live axle? Well, it's more along the lines of why would the manufacturer want a live axle, really? There are a few advantages for driving, but mostly they're cheaper, they're more durable, they're lighter weights, and if you're doing drag racing, having an independent suspension setup allows you to put the power down much better than if you have a live axle, it allows you to put the power down much better than independent suspension setup. So what's the advantages of independent setup? Although it is a bit heavier, they're able to be more comfortable or better gripping depending on how you set them up. And they are more complex and a little more fragile though, and more expensive to produce. So really, unless you're drag racing, or maybe there might be some off-roading cases as well where you might want a live axle, but for most just normal everyday drivers, you're probably going to prefer to have an independent suspension setup. Alright, so now that I covered that, let's get the truck to have all the stuff back on it. So let's go ahead and say, if I just respawn it, will the stuff come back? So we go somewhere else, something else, doesn't matter what. And close the menu, and then go back to the truck. Does it appear? Wow, this stuff doesn't appear. Alright, let me just go back to the menu and come back then. Alright, so the reason I did that is I think this will be just a little bit faster than adding everything back on like that, one by one, because you'd be like, first we add the trailer, then we add the tow hitch, then we add the trailer, then we add the Hummer, then we add the barrels, or we could just be done already like that. Ooh, good thing that worked. I would be pissed if it didn't work. So anyways, let's take a closer look at all the major components besides the live axle now. So you got the blower right there, and you see those, the things that are like butterfly valves, except they're not valves, whatever. I know butterfly valves because I'm a certified process technician, man, somebody hire me. But anyways, you see those do not open and close. They stay exactly partially open like that. In a real car, they would open and close depending on the amount of throttle that is given. And now we're rolling over. So that's one thing. With all of this weight on here, I think this thing weighs like, I guess it would weigh something like 6 tons, but we could actually check it real quick. If we go to up there, and we go plus, sorry about that. Then we hit node beam info, and there we go. So this thing right here weighs 5,019 kilograms. So let me think. That's 1,200. Okay, if I did the math right, that's 12,608.2 pounds. Actually, you know what? I just thought about it. If I click this, doesn't it? Yes. 12,581 pounds. So that was close. It's close. It was within like 20 pounds. Anyways, so that weighs 6¼ tons. That is a ton of weight. Well, literally, that is 6¼ tons of ton. That's a ton plus some. It's heavy. With all this weight, it rolls over pretty easy. So if you try to go like at 60 miles per hour, about well, look at how unstable it is at 30 miles per hour. We're like having to go left because I don't want to flip over. But you see, if you try to turn too hard with this thing, you'll flip over. You have to be very careful when you drive this, otherwise you will just crash and die. Like right now, we're only going 30 miles per hour, and I would fear for my life if this was real. I would fear for it. Now, if we try to actually go 60 miles per hour and do anything more than a tiny, tiny turn, we're going to flip over and die probably. Alright, just a tiny turn. Oh, yep, we're flipping it over and die. So this thing is so crazy unstable, it's kind of funny in a way. It just rolls and flips and you die. I don't think that's quite realistic, but it is funny. Even with just having the live axle on the front and back makes it pretty unstable. But the Hummer just doesn't help, Over the jump. Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, God. Nope. We're not going to make it. Somehow the trailer stays attached while you're rolling over. I don't know exactly how that works. And I know I've done another mod where it had a trailer, right? But I think it might even been the same trailer. I don't know. It's hard to know. Like, this mod is actually like kind of a mod, is a multiple mods put in one. It's kind of like it was the live axle truck, and then they combined it with the trailer mod. It's weird like that. Anyways, the truck's broken. Something with the clutch being totally engaged no matter what you do. Anyways, how does an automatic have a clutch engaging? It doesn't even make sense. Whatever. See, when it shifts, it doesn't engage. It's not like it's showing something with the automatic transmission. It's actually the clutch showing. Because if I hit the clutch, then it goes up. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, it's not stable to drive at all. As you see, it's very, very unstable. But, yeah. You know, let's look at the driver. Did I look at the driver real closely? I don't think I did yet. I got distracted. Anyways, here's the driver. We are the driver. We're inside of his face. This would happen. This is what you would see if you took your eyeballs and you rotated them 180 degrees. That was what you would see. That's what your face looks like from the inside. You can see his hands do not move with the wheel. He just gets burns on his fingers when he turns too hard. Like, oh, burning. Or you could imagine some other crazy way he actually is the one churning it. I don't know. And like I said, I don't know if he looks happy or mad. You just really can't tell. Oh, I love this camera angle. Did I say that before? I might have said that before. I love this camera angle. It's just so cool to be able to see. You can see, like, oh, look at it. You can see that spinning. You can see the wheels. When you churn, you can see them tilting. And you can go the opposite side. You can see the opposite wheels. It's great. I love being able to actually see the driveline churning like that. That's cool. I wouldn't mind more of the stock cars having this camera angle because it's just fun to watch. And then you don't know what you're doing and you crash and die. I mean, this mod is just a collection of little things. So it's like, you know, you got the barrels. There's a couple of different weights for the barrels. You know, you got like 150, a 250, and a 200. So let's put the heaviest ones on it. Yeah. Now we really can't drive good, probably. The 0 to 60 time on this in its current state, half hour. You know, it's gonna take a while. Look, we're going full throttle, and then we crashed. The Hummer does not crash well. I know some people might get excited. Oh my God, I crashed the Hummer. Well, the Hummer is really just made to be a weight. It's not made to be crashed. So, speaking of the trailer, though, there are a bunch of different things you can put on it. There's the Hummer, and then a bunch of box configurations, actually, if I think about it. I think it's just box configurations. Let's see. There's U-line, 2 U-line, 3 U-line. So 3 U-line just means 3 sets of boxes. Let's see. 1, 2, 3 sets. You know, the other ones just mean less sets. And they are significantly less heavy than the Hummer. You can see we're actually able to get up to speed a little bit faster. And we're a little bit stabler as well. Until we tear off the trailer in the... Whoops. Yeah, don't do that. Look at the engine. Oh, you know what's funny though is if you put the i6 engine in this, the 4.1 liter i6, how funny. The i6 has more displacement than the V8. Look at that. It's literally just a hole for no reason. It's like, why do you have a hole there? Because I used to have a V8 engine. Then I put an i6 in it, and there's no way to get a hood without a hole. I think that was funny. But yeah, that's what the mod is. I mean, like I said, it's just a bunch of things. That's kind of like showing off each thing. You know, weights aren't really too interesting to show off. It's like, yep, it's a weight. You know, the trailer does have... I thought it had a... Oh, okay, it has a independent suspension in the front, maybe? I can't tell. I know it says, right? Here we go. Okay, it has a leaf spring. You have a soft version or a normal version. Never noticed that until right now, actually. Wait a minute. What are we looking at? That's not the trailer. What am I looking... Here's the trailer. Okay. I was about to say, that doesn't look like a leaf spring to me. What am I talking about? I don't know. I think it's just a... I think it's just like another... Basically another live axle. I can't tell exactly how it connects though right there. I just can't see for sure. Pretty sure it's just a live axle though. Hopefully I'm not wrong. But there's a soft end for the... I don't know. There's some other suspension setups as well. I'm just kind of confused with this menu saying so many things saying suspension is messing with my head. So let's just, let's do what you guys love. It's one of those things where, you know, I said the Hummer doesn't crash well. Let's prove it if we can get to the bottom of this hill. It's going to be a challenge to get down this hill with this. It's not even stable at 30 miles per hour, let alone 150 or whatever it'll reach here. So, well, what will happen? I really don't know. I'll only try it with the Hummer though, because like I said, people will probably be interested to see it, even though it unfortunately is not made for that. It's more of just made as an excuse to have a really heavy weight in the trailer, you know. But because I know people would want to see it. Careful, careful, careful. Alright, this is not going to be easy. As long as we hit something, I'm happy. I don't think we're going to be able to control where we go, but hopefully we'll hit something. There we go. Look at that. We got some control. Now we don't. We'll just see what happens. I mean, you could... I guess I didn't expect to be able to make it down here. Oh, come on, Hummer. Where you going? Hummer, you get your boy? Where you going? I'm going to make you get back here. Where is the Hummer now? I don't know. It didn't work, did it? We can go find it and see what it looks like, though, just so you can kind of see it doesn't get crashed up. And then we could go to Leap of Death, maybe. Freeze physics up to try to find it. Oh. Alright, where are you, Hummer? It's gone! Oh, is it in there? There it is. There it is. There it is. I mean, you can see how badly the truck was beat up, right? So you can see the Hummer is just, you know, gone. Actually. Yeah, it's just squish. Because it's not made to be crashed. It's just made to be a weight. So just go squish. That's okay, you know. It like I say, it does say, like, in terms of importance of things, the title of this thing is like, it's a D-15 with a live axle in the front. And then it's like, oh, it has a trailer too. And then it doesn't even mention, I think, in like the forum title, that the fact that the trailer has a Hummer. Because the Hummer's not there to really do anything more than be a weight. It's not trying to be deceptive. The guy's not trying to be deceptive. He's just trying to give you something cool to have in it as a weight, you know? I don't fault the guy for that. I mean, sure, it'd be cool if the Hummer was fully J-beamed up, but shoot, if he's going to go through all that effort, he might as well make the whole Hummer a separate vehicle. And at that point, it's like, well, that kind of loses the point of the whole Hummer. So it's like, whatever. Anyways, let's do this. Let's do this. We'll even be able to make the jump. It should be okay, right? Oh, yes, way more than enough power. And again, you'll see how weirdly the Hummer looks. Kind of flies around like a pair of nunchucks, you know? You're gonna hit something pretty soon. Do it 8 times slow for now. 100 times slower, because we're really gonna hit something soon. 8 times, 100 times. Alright, so there you guys see the Hummer's making contact and it just kind of crushes. You see right there. Whoa, 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 whoa. That looked weird. Alright, but you see the Hummer just went squish. Yeah. So the Hummer's not much to look at, just as you see right there. It just goes squish. The weights in the bed of the truck, they'll sometimes kind of deform a little bit unusually as well. But they're always in the truck. They're, you know, they're tied down. No matter what crash you go through, they'll be there. They're still there. I think they are. I don't actually, you know what I just thought about? Does break all brake groups make them fall out? Nope, doesn't seem like it does. So they are never going to fall out as far as I can tell, unless they're deceiving me. Yep, they're in there no matter what you do. Alright, so let's do one more drive off this cliff. And oh goodness, well, I want to drive off the cliff. I don't want to just fall off of it. That's not what I want to do. I want to drive. Here we are. Oh, my Hummer! Alright, we're not spawning, right? There we go. I think the Hummer's kind of inside of the ground, though. Yeah, that's not... Okay. Screw it. We'll do it from here. We're gonna go like 10 miles per hour off the jump, but I don't care. Whoa! Oh my goodness. See how fast it falls? Cause it just takes a dive because there's so much weight in the back of the truck. It's just like it just boom goes straight down. So now we'll look at the truck this time. 8 times and 100 times. Ooh, I just had an idea though. So the barrels just kind of whoop. They're still there, but they just go whoop crazy. Yeah, then the truck's getting all wrecked up too. 8 times speed. How's the driver look, huh? That's another thing we gotta look at. How's the driver look after something like that? Well, how is he, huh? He is broken every bone in his body, maybe? None of the cameras can really show him to you. But he doesn't look so hot if you look at him, really, does he? Yeah, he's not doing so well. Poor driver. Okay, on with the crashing. I mean, at this point, it's really just gonna crash like a normal truck. Because you can't even see the barrels, really. They just kind of disappeared, you know? And we're coming to a stop. And it might as well be a stop. So I want to do one more test I just thought of. It might be interesting. It's not exactly a 100% fair test, because the spring strength, I think, is different between this truck and the off-road truck. But I want to do something, because this is more of a curiosity I have. Which truck has a stronger suspension setup? So I have an idea of a perfect way to test this. What we're going to do is we're going to get both trucks without extras. The off-road edition versus the normal one. We're going to go very basic, though. We're going to say no trailer, no. We don't need the extra weight. That makes it unfair. And then we're going to do empty. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a simulation to determine which suspension would be stronger under like circumstances where it would be put under stress. All we're going to do is we're going to put the gravity up. So Jupiter, both are fine. So then we'll raise it to 30. Both are fine. 40. Both are fine. 50. Oh, this one gave way. So this one gives way at about 50. Alright, is this one actually functional though, or is it broken? So if we do Earth gravity again, you see that one is still broken, where this one still functions. So that is kind of to simulate like a really hard landing if you're like flying through the air. Or if you really want to simulate a really hard one, you do that. And actually, you see that the IRS is held up. I know traditionally it's supposed to be that the other one is more durable, but maybe it just depends on what is being tested. Because under these circumstances, it didn't do so hot, did it? You know, that one, I don't know. I just had a random thought about that. I don't know if that's like a proper test. But I believe it is true that the live axle is supposed to be more durable. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that. Anyways, until next time, this has been WhyBeAre doing some I don't know, teaching stuff actually. That's hopefully taught you what a live axle is, right? Until next time, I'll see you. You know what? Heck. We should do an off-road test. We're calling back after the outro. Because I don't feel like editing it too much. Because I gotta get this one up fast. I don't have any videos recorded for, like, this needs to go up in about 8 hours. So I don't really have time to edit it and render it. Because I also need to go to bed. Because it's like 4 a.m. and I got work in, 6 hours. And what am I doing? I'm gonna regret this. Anyways, we're gonna just real quickly do some stuff at one of my favorite off-road maps because it's hard. So we're gonna just go to some rocks and we're gonna try doing some off-roading with this and see how it does. Normally with a normal car, let's just say I struggle a lot here. With this, maybe we'll struggle a little less. We'll see. Alright, so trying to go up this rock is going okay. We kind of went at a bad angle initially, so that's my fault. It's not the suspension's fault. At least I'll take the blame for that one, you know? It might have been the suspension, but it's also more likely it was me. So we're going to keep driving. Let me, oh, this thing doesn't have a manual mode. Dang it. I was gonna say, let me pop in manual real quick, just because I don't know if it'll be able to hold things the way I want it to, but oh well. So, for me personally, maybe it's, yeah, I think it might be performing a bit better for this. Yeah, I mean the fact that I made it up here with a truck that's, you know, mostly stock aside from that suspension setup, that means it's probably working decent enough. Because usually I wouldn't make it. But, yeah. I don't know. Seems like it does have benefits for off-roading. Unfortunately, I am not a good off-roader to be able to test that. And as for drag racing, I did say it has benefits there. This car doesn't have enough power for it to matter. So that'll do it now. And until next time, if you have any anything else you'd want to see for this, I feel like there's some things I could have done, but I didn't, so I don't know. Again, for the second time, this is WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.